It's probably a cliche at this point, but SmackDown is the A show. It's not just a cliche anymore, it's a fact. This show was absolutely incredible, and if you think this episode was a pathetic show or a bad show, and in my opinion, I think you may need your eyes checked. Because this was a fantastic episode of SmackDown. The show began with Roman Reigns. If there's one thing I have been seeing a lot, is that every single SmackDown is starting off with Roman Reigns. Now, if this was babyface Roman Reigns, I'd probably groan and go, ugh, all the time. And if babyface Roman Reigns main evented all the time, then I'd probably groan about that a bit. But I think because he's a heel, I'm kind of tolerating it a little bit more. But I kind of wish they'd change it up a bit. I really want them to start off with, like, some women. Like, give, like, the women a segment, you know? Like I get he's your Universal Champion, and I get he's the star of the show. But does Roman have to start the show every single week? I don't get it. That's like having Drew McIntyre start the show and then end the show. Does your main champion have to always start and finish the show? It's fine for them to, like, end the show because they're the main event champion. But in my opinion, I think it's starting to get a little bit repetitive. So they had Paul Heyman challenge Adam Pearce to a match. Now, that was just so damn bizarre. Scrap Daddy, as they called him. So, yeah, I guess Scrap Daddy was ready to get scrapped after what happened in the main event. But he was luckily saved. So the first match was a surprise out of nowhere. Nobody expected this. And you can't tell me, and you can't say to me with a straight face, oh, you knew that the women's tag team champions were going to be on SmackDown. No way. There was no way that anyone would have guessed they'd be here. We had Asuka and Charlotte Flair team up together to take on the Riot Squad. This was actually a really good match. They had Billie Kay by their side, the Riot Squad. And I'm glad that WWE is realizing that they've got tag teams. And this is why teams like Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax fail as a tag team. Because when they were the champions, WWE didn't have a lot of teams. WWE have now added Natalya and Tamina to the tag team division. And now they've got more tag teams with the Women's Tag Team Classic. They've got the new Dusty Classic with the Women's Tag Division. So you've got Candice and Indy. You've got Shotzi and Ember. I guess they're just a one-off team. You have Priscilla Kelly. She's now signed by WWE. She's now teaming with some new girl. Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke, at NXT, they've got some pretty decent tag teams. Dakota Kai and Rachel Gonzalez. So, NXT does have their fair share of teams. So, and I just wish WWE would realize that we need to have the women's tag team champions on NXT, like Casey and Kaden. They're another one. So I would like to see, some tag teams. I like to see the women's tag team champions go to NXT and defend the titles there, because fans want the women's tag team titles going across all brands, and this is the best way to do it. So I thought it was really cool to see Charlotte and Asuka here. Because there was no plans or no announcement of them being there. They were just like, by the way, the women's tag team champions are here. And I like it when WWE doesn't announce something like it's actually really good when they don't announce anything. It's like when you see like something like the women's tag team champions being on the show, you're like, oh wow, that's a bit of a surprise. So Charlotte being on SmackDown and Asuka, you know, them being here on SmackDown, to me really made the show, you know, pretty good. You know, them being there was quite a surprise. Billie Kay would once again cost the Riot Squad, just like she did last week. And the Riot Squad would end up kicking her to the curb backstage, but Billie Kay, you know, she kind of put them in the Royal Rumble. She declared them in the Royal Rumble. Let's see if Liv Morgan can last more than 5 seconds. The last time she competed in a Royal Rumble, she was thrown out immediately. So let's see if Liv Morgan can last longer than like 5 seconds. So yeah, the Riot Squad kicker Billie Kay to the curb. I'm thinking Billie Kay is trying to sabotage the Riot Squad. Because remember, the Riot Squad were the reasons why the Iconics broke up. So I think Billie Kay could secretly be trying to sabotage them. So then that way she can get her payback on them for ruining her life, ruining her partnership and her 15-year friendship with Peyton Royce. That is what I think this whole thing is going in. Because it's kind of weird that they kind of do this whole thing and kind of put her with them. But I guess only time will tell. Sami Zayn handcuffed himself, which was a bit weird. That was pretty weird. Then we had Cesaro taking on Dolph Ziggler. I loved Cesaro in his segment with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan wanted him to have a match, and Cesaro, he just said, like, it's just a simple sentence, but it's just so damn funny on how he said it. Daniel Bryan, because Cesaro's dressed in his ring gear, and Daniel Bryan would take off his jacket, and he'd say, I'll just take off my jacket, and we will fight right now. And then Cesaro just says, how about no? It's just a simple sentence, but just the way he said it just sounded so hilarious. How about no? That was just so damn hilarious. It's just a simple sentence. It's just a simple sentence, and I found that hilarious. See, when I talk about SmackDown, I'm always so happy. I'm always so happy when I'm talking about SmackDown. Why can't Raw do this? Maybe I won't yell and scream and carry on like a 5-year-old if Monday Night Raw actually gave me something that made me laugh. They gave me something that was entertaining and good. Good TV. If Monday Night Raw gives me good TV, I'll be sitting here with a smile on my face telling you how great these shows are. Monday Night Raw doesn't give me anything good. They make me cross. They make me angry. Especially by having Alexa Bliss as the main attraction. Yeah, Alexa Bliss needs to be the main attraction of Monday Night Raw. Give her a playhouse. She's a crazed, deranged fiend. We can't have her do the Moment of Bliss anymore, so now we'll have her as a crazed, deranged fiend and give her her own little crazy little playhouse like the Fiend has in his Firefly Funhouse. Yeah, I really want Alexa Bliss as my main attraction. But anyway. But yeah, that was great. That was great from Cesaro, just saying, how about no? That was just pretty hilarious. But then Cesaro would issue an open challenge, and out would come Dolph Ziggler. Very weird to see one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions in a match, and they're not doing anything with those titles. Now, I'm kind of thinking maybe Cesaro and Nakamura get a future tag team title shot here, but or maybe Cesaro and Nakamura are now single stars. I don't know, but kind of weird. But Cesaro would get the win, and this is good news for Cesaro. I hope this is leading to something big for Cesaro, because he He is very underrated. He definitely deserves a chance. Cesaro is a great, great athlete. WWE really needs to step up their game with Cesaro. So now we have an intergender match. We have Sasha Banks. She goes one-on-one with Carmella Chevalier. Reginald Thomas. That's actually what Wikipedia calls him, by the way. Reginald Thomas. But it's just Reginald. Or Reggie, as they are calling him for short. Reggie, whatever. Whichever sounds good to you. This match was surprisingly okay. It was actually surprisingly enjoyable for most part. I thought this was pretty going to be lame. I kind of thought this was going to be lame. There was 2 outcomes I was expecting here. Maybe 3. One, Sasha just straight up wins, which is what we got. She straight up wins. 2, Carmella causes a DQ. Or 3, Carmella does something to cause Reginald to beat her. Those were the 3 outcomes I was expecting. And we had Sasha, as I said, just straight up beat Reginald, or Reggie, and Carmella didn't do a thing. She just sat there, didn't do a thing, didn't even try to help him. Reginald, he was flip-flopping all over the place, he was countering some of Sasha's moves. Now, I want to talk about why I do not like intergender matches here. So this is something that's really important. So I feel like I should bring this to your attention on why I do not like intergender matches. Now, yes, WWE has done it before with James Ellsworth and Becky Lynch and Asuka and James Ellsworth. But Becky and James is more the one that everyone remembers. The reason why I do not like intergender matches is because men are not supposed to strike girls. Boys are never meant to strike a woman. Never in their life. They're never supposed to. Now, yes, Candice LeRae has fought men out in the indies. That's the indies. Tessa Blanchard, yeah, she's fought men. So what? This is why I do not like intergender wrestling, because if you're having women fight men, it is downright stupid. It's downright stupid and it's pathetic. Like, men are like the most dominant alpha males in the wrestling world. And as much as I found this match enjoyable, there were times I really thought Reginald was going to hurt Sasha. Maybe he'd do like a suplex, or maybe punch her, or kick her. Throughout the match, I was kind of worried if he was going to keep her safe. And for a guy that doesn't do a goddamn thing other than be an annoyance to Sasha Banks on the outside, he really kept her safe in that ring. And the other thing is that people like Tessa Blanchard, people like Candice LeRae, and even Priscilla Kelly, who WWE just signed recently, has also fought men. I think women being in the ring with men should just never be a thing. I don't care who you are. Priscilla, Candice, Tessa. In my opinion, I don't care who you are. The visual of a girl being in the ring with a man is just something that should never be done. And when Sasha competed against Reginald, I expected this. I expected this to happen because I was thinking they were going to harken back to the James Ellsworth days when Becky Lynch fought James Ellsworth. And they did do it. And as much as I'd like to say I really did enjoy this, it was an actual match, no bullshit, I was just worried for Sasha throughout the entire time. I was really hoping Reginald would keep her safe. I just don't like it. I just don't like intergender matches. Intergender matches are really, really stupid. They're really, really stupid. Like I said, Tessa Blanchard's done it. Priscilla Kelly has done it. Candice LeRae has done it. I get it. They've all done it before. But that's them. That's them. They're in WWE now. Not Tessa. She's not in WWE yet. But Priscilla and Candice are. So they should know they're not going to fight men anymore. You are a woman's wrestler. And as I said before, men should never strike a woman. A man should never strike a woman. I do not care who you are. Never, ever. That is one of the biggest criminal laws in today's society in the real world. You will instantly be thrown to jail if you put your hands on a woman. And yes, I get it, this is wrestling, this is different. Wrestling is different. But still, even when it's wrestling, I still say this. Men should never strike a woman. Even when it's in wrestling. So I will say this. Reginald, he did his part. He kept Sasha safe. He didn't try to hurt her, which was something that a lot of us were concerned about if he was going to be physical with her. But the sommelier showed some acrobatic skills. I guess that's okay. So he did show off some of his unique acrobatics. He tried to give Sasha a rose, which didn't work. But Sasha would end up winning, which was probably the one outcome I kind of didn't expect. I was either expecting a DQ from Carmella, or somehow Reginald was going to beat her due to Carmella's interferences. But Sasha winning does make total sense here. So other than my little, I wouldn't really call this a rant, but just a little brief opinion on why I don't like intergender wrestling, I thought this was fine. They didn't really go out of their way to hurt Sasha. So other than that, I'll give it a thumbs up. But I still don't like intergender wrestling. We had Big E versus Apollo Crews, an Intercontinental title match. This ended by disqualification because Sami Zayn, who handcuffed himself at the start of the show, he would unhandcuff himself, go into the ring and attack Big E and Apollo. He'd give them both the haluva kick. Then we had the Ultimate Athlete Obstacle Course Challenge as Bayley took on Bianca Belair. Now, they had the tire, they had hurdles, they had the marine walls. Now, when I saw those marine walls, I don't know how many people remember this, but when I saw those walls, it brought me back to when Sami Zayn challenged Bobby Lashley to a marine-style obstacle course. The Great Wall of Jessica, Mount Cathy, or whatever they were called. Remember that? So when I saw those walls, I was immediately reminded of the Three Sisters and Sami Zayn's little obstacle course. So Bayley had her turn first. And also at the end, they had to pick up Chad Gable, run across, and then dump the basketball into the hoop. Bayley did it in 1:12 seconds. Bianca Belair had her turn. By the way, Bayley struggled to carry a 200-pound Chad. But then when it was Bianca Belair's turn, she just picked up, like, it was Otis she had to carry. She just picked up a 340-pound dude and ran across like it's your everyday job. She did not even struggle with carrying a 340-pound man. I gotta say, that is straight up impressive. That is just straight up impressive. without even breaking your back. Bianca is freakish strong. She must be crazy strong if she could pick up a 340-pound man. I'd like to see you pick up... Now try and pick up Braun Strowman. Now I want to see her pick up Braun Strowman. Now I want to see her pick up the Big Show. With her picking up Otis, I now want to see her pick up, like, bloody Braun and Big Show. Jesus. Bianca Belair is crazy strong. Bianca would win by 17 seconds and Bayley would attack her at the end. Being a typical heel, that is a sore loser. King Corbin defeated Dominic Mysterio. It was pretty much a squash. Did not care for this. Because why should I care? If there is one thing I really didn't care about, that was this. And then we had Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce take on Paul Heyman. But Paul Heyman, he did the whole card subject to change through injury. Just like Adam Pearce did last week. Paul Heyman pretended he sprained his ankle up the steps. And then out came Roman Reigns. And Adam Pearce had to face Roman Reigns. And then Kevin Owens would make his return. And he would beat the hell out of Roman Reigns. This was the first time since his return. The first time since Roman's return. We have seen Roman Reigns look vulnerable. First time. First time since his return, he has looked vulnerable. And that is insane. And that really shows you how great this storyline is. I still don't see Kevin Owens winning the title. But it was really cool to see Roman Reigns actually for once look vulnerable. And that was the one thing about Roman Reigns that everybody hated. He never looked vulnerable. Now, obviously, as a babyface, you obviously don't have to look vulnerable. But this really put a smile on my face because Roman Reigns finally looked vulnerable for the first time in ages. And it was great stuff. Smackdown is really proving to be the A show here. And I'm loving it. No complaints from me. Zero complaints from me. And yeah. No complaints from me. So yeah, I thought this show was great. Very good edition of Smackdown. Thank you all so much for joining me for this review, guys. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up if you guys did enjoy this review. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. And I will see you all next time.